So what's small town living like here in Nampa, Idaho, particularly when it comes to commuting? Let's find out next. Hey, Dave Edwards, Treasure Valley Dave here. And in this series, we're looking at what it's like to live in small towns throughout Idaho. And this time we're looking at Nampa, and particularly what commuting's like. And what really started all this is we've got this great magazine here that goes through all of these things, and you can get your own copy, download it for free. Just go to our website, www.treasurevalleydave.com. I-84, Interstate 84, and it goes through town, and a lot of people commute on it, and it's not your only option. There are other ways to get from one place to another. The nice thing is, though, that they've just about finished widening this and improving the freeway. All they have left to do is paint the stripes on the road between Nampa and Caldwell, and then we're good to go. They're going to open up another lane, so we'll have 3 lanes going both ways. I know the last year or so, sometimes like a Friday afternoon, traffic gets backed up, but now that they're done with construction, hopefully that's a thing of the past. Well, here we are, Friday afternoon, everybody's going home. This is pretty much the peak of the commute. Will it get worse than this? Probably. And a lot of the reason is because we still have construction going on the freeway. On the side coming to us, they're coming from Boise, going on through Nampa, maybe into Caldwell. So this is the freeway going over through Nampa up to Caldwell. There's still some construction going on. They're widening the freeway between Nampa and Caldwell. They're adding another lane. Well, they're all done with that except they haven't got the stripes down. So they're waiting for it to stop raining for a little bit, and then they're going to put the stripes down. And hopefully that it's going to take care of whatever Friday afternoon backup that we have out here. So good job making our commute a little bit nicer. Some options you might enjoy when it comes to commuting is our local park and ride. Looks like quite a few people are taking advantage of that. So someone was really smart when they laid out how the roads work here in the Treasure Valley. Check this out, for example. So here at this intersection, it's blocked off because they're doing road construction down there. So gosh, what could we do? We needed to go that direction. What you do is you go up 1 mile and you take the other road over because we're on this grid system. So one of the reasons that they do close down these roads is because they're putting in these roundabouts that they did for intersections. Now, I know roundabouts can be a controversial thing, but I'm finding that for the most part, they work really, really well. It's a great place to put some artwork too. So we don't know, how to get to, or maybe wanted to go to the left there, but the road was closed down, for example, which I'm sure it will be at some point because there's a place that needs a roundabout. So we can just go up here in 1 mile and take a left or right or whichever direction you want to go. because we're on this big grid system. Yeah, it's first thing in the morning, so people are getting out there to mow their yards. It's almost spring. It's hard to tell. So we can just scoot right along out here. Typically, these roads on the grid are, 40, 50 mile an hour. And wow, here comes the next intersection. Then what can we do? Well, it's a big grid, so we can go any direction we want, unless there's, construction going on. And we can generally, it's like you want to go generally one direction, you just get on the grid, and if you find traffic's backing up or there's construction, then you don't have to, I guess the point is, you don't have to know all the secret back roads and tricks to get from one end to the other. And then we can go this way, and we know in another mile, there's going to be another intersection that we can go left or right or keep on going straight. So yeah, you don't have to know. You generally know the direction you want to go, and you just start heading that way. Maybe it's a rainy day, maybe it's a sunny day, but it's all good. And this grid is the same between the freeway and going to the north, and also on the south side of the freeway. It's just grids. Oh my, look, there's another intersection coming up. And you know, if we'd only lived here for like 5 minutes, we could still be confident to know that there's another intersection. And we can get this way and that way, and we don't get ourselves lost because we know we can always just go one more mile over, and there we are. Pretty cool, huh? Is that like it is where you're at? So I remember my time back in California, there in Vacaville. If you wanted to go from, say, Sacramento to the Bay Area, there was only one way to go, and that was Interstate 80. There was no back roads because there's, streams and rivers and stuff in the way, and then towns in the way and politicians in the way, and you had to be funneled onto the freeway, and that freeway would back up, and you had no options. Out here in the Treasure Valley, you've got options. Yeah, you can tell once we zoom in a little bit, we have this grid system throughout the entire Treasure Valley. You can see all these little squares. These are all just about a mile apart from each other. And so it's like if you're coming across on the freeway and traffic's backed up, maybe you can take one of these other roads above or below the freeway. And then also when you get out here, in the farmland and stuff, everything else is still in these little 1 mile squares. It's pretty cool. So sometimes the major roads are kind of blocked up and backed up, wrecks, or just Friday evening going home traffic. Well, there's all sorts of back ways that you can take. We're getting on one right now. We're on Victory. And this is, here, take a look. So we're on Victory, and this is parallel to the freeway. We're, I think, a mile and a half south of the freeway. Got this little curve to go around, but after that, this is what it looks like. So maybe if you're not in a big rush, you just want to take a leisurely drive, you can take the back way from one place to another, like that guy's doing. Sure, you're not going 70 miles an hour, but it's a pleasant drive. You get to see things. I don't know. Maybe once you get older, like I plan to be someday, this kind of, stopping and smell the roses is kind of nice. Somebody should write a song. 4-way stop. Got right through it, didn't we? And knowing these backways is kind of handy in case there's some construction going on. So they don't close down the freeway, but sometimes they'll block off a lane and that will bunch things up. And these back roads are good, but oftentimes you'll find that these back roads, they get kind of heavy with traffic as well because some other way is blocked off or one or two of these back roads are blocked off. What's been going on lately is they've been putting in, traffic circles and things like that. And it seems to work just fine. You can get scoot right across the valley, just slow down for the traffic circles, unless you're a prior race car driver and maybe you just take it as a personal challenge. Oh, it's this time we have to stop. Not bad. Now we've just got a straight shot from Meridian into Nampa here on Victory. And it's pretty easy going. We're just moving right along. Backways are great. And once you get here, then you start exploring around towns and stuff, you're going to find your own little backways to get where you want to be. Nice. And commuting here in the Treasure Valley, it's not so bad. Is it great? It's never fun. But how's it compare to where you live? And so this is how our commute begins, leaving Nampa, getting on I-84, heading towards Meridian / Boise, wherever it is that we work today. Yeah, there's a lot of cars out here, but we're moving right along.
But there are times where this freeway will back up. There's been a wreck, of course. Sometimes on the on-ramp, you'll find they'll bunch up as you get more people coming in. But I have to tell you, compare this to, wow, the 580, the 680, the 880, or even just 80. Man, I'd rather have this every single day. And you know, if something does go on and it costs you an extra 5-10 minutes even, then compare that to your commute in California where it just takes hours to go just a few miles. You guys have all been through that. It's not like that every time, I'm sure, but it's enough that it's memorable, I'm sure. So now we're at 10-mile road, listening to the traffic reports on the radio. This is usually where it gets bunched up. Let's see how it looks today. Yeah, there's quite a few cars, especially coming from Boise into Nampa. Wonder if that's because there's a lot of great places to work in Nampa. I'm going to guess. Probably so. Well, I didn't see a bunch coming in off of 10 Mile. I think we've got pretty smooth sailing all the way into Boise.
Yeah, so some of those public transit options are like Valley Transit right here. Now, you don't often, in fact, you probably never see their yard like this because they're out driving all over the place. But just know that they're here when you need them. And of course, we got bus stops along the major arteries throughout town. Hey, please help me out and subscribe to this channel, and of course like this video. That means so much. I really appreciate you for that, and thanks for coming along with me today. And until next time, hey, this is Treasure Valley Dave, looking forward to helping you get home.